Runes of Saros can be okay.
Huh, interestingly enough, Euthermal still doesn't have an opponent. If this ends up being, say, unfortunately a 2-0, uh, that could that one mine, yeah, that one mine that killed all his
Yeah.
lings. If this ends up being a really quick series, we might actually have Euthermal versus Healer or Guru potentially, which could be awesome.
Okay.
But of course, a lot of really good players are in the losers bracket. We got a couple of forfeits going down there, and some people don't want to play. But Snoot is definitely still fighting, so that's good to see.
Nice.
Snoot has the habit of winning things in the losers bracket, so wish him a lot of luck down there. But we are in game map number 2 here for the Ting Open qualifiers. In the top left side of Runes of Saris, it's going to be the blue Terran Marine Lord.
In the top right, as the red Zerg, it's Liquid TLO.
So I had mentioned this at the start of the stream. I'm just going to announce this now again because we got a lot of people tuning in. Our groups are going to have to be moved around slightly. We did put proposed dates on Team Liquid with the mention that we may have to move some things around. We just got some information about IEM Shanghai qualifiers, which I don't know if I can make public or not. So, well, none of these qualifier dates seem to have any conflicts. We may have to shuffle a couple of the groups around. So if any of you guys were like really stoked for like the European groups, make sure to keep an eye on our calendar to keep up with what's going on. And with that, I'm also going to blatantly advertise basetrade.tv, guys, our brand new website. This website actually doesn't have any ads on it, and it's entirely a tool designed to help you guys, the fans, keep up to date with what's going on. We have a calendar section. We're still working out the kinks. This thing's like barely a week old, so do forgive us. We do want your feedback, but do forgive us. We're working on the calendar system to make it bigger, better, and all that stuff. But you can see everything we're casting, all the new rearranged dates, if anything gets canceled, etc. It'll be all on the Base Trade TV calendar. So again, basetrade.tv, you'll get to see what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's asking for the nerf jar reset, but only if there's a patch.
Yeah, we keep building up to the patch and basically see like where everyone's like angst and animosity is.
Yeah.
I think a
Yeah.
lot of people are just upset because like how crazy the donations got and how one-sided some of the races became. But
Well, that's how you feel bad about your race. Just acknowledge it.
yeah, it's got to deal with it.
Yeah. I can feel perfectly fine because Terran isn't winning.
Now, going back
Oh,
to that
wait.
last game just a little bit, and what might affect this game, like, okay, they talked about that Widowmine hit. There were some jokes, like that one Widowmine, though.
Uh-huh.
I do feel like there's a lot of unfortunate things that happened for TLO that game. And a lot of those things combined is what really made that style of play fail. I actually think if he wanted to go for the Mutalisks and Banelings again on Ruins, he'd have a better shot. As long as he doesn't take, like, silly early game damage. Or lose
Yeah.
30 lings like a what am I?
So Ruins of Saros is another map that is pretty good, thanks to Got Wreck Godfrey for subbing 9 months in a row.
Godfire is how I'm going to say it. 9 months.
Gotrek Godfire. That's
Just
pretty good.
sounds cooler that way. So even if it's
It
not,
does.
like,
It
that's how you
does.
should say it, bro.
Unless you like, he means they got wrecked Godfrey, but I don't like. Who's the name Godfrey anymore? It's a dumb name. Huh. Anyways,
Okay, so judgy. Jeez.
right? Like, oh God, what if he actually has a friend?
What if he has a friend? Can you not get this guy to unsub to us by being so mean to him? Wow.
What if he has a friend named Godfrey? God, that was insinuated.
The implication.
Yeah. So TL is actually going for a pretty early Baneling nest this game, and I guess a Baneling all in. Pretty old school of him to do this. The third base is kind of a ruse. It's not going to be droned up very much at all, and honestly, even if Marine Lord scouted that, that would be really hard to like actually pay attention to. So he just had to scout the mass amount of lings.
While being up what it is, it's gonna be nice. The worst case, the worst feeling is when you just completely get sideswiped by this. But the last depot coming down in a moment. Banley being more direct on their front line. That I'm not sure if there's a misclick because that actually gives away a lot of information that Marine Lord did not have. I do like that he doesn't send too many links forward either to reveal that he has a ton. And Marine Lord just took a large portion of his army away across the map. Maybe this does some damage to TLO, maybe it doesn't. Queens are pretty good for defense. But these Banelings coming in to bust this wall. There's a tank behind it. But the wall does break. Lings are flooding in. They get on top of that tank right away. SCV is getting pulled desperately to get into the repair range, but that's not going to happen. The tank falls. Marines die. And now this counterattack is all that Marine Lord has going for him. And even that's getting cleaned up. Drones get the surround.
The
What am I in?
medevac.
Oh, no.
The medevac died to the Spore Crawler and the 3 Queens, and this has actually gone really, really well. If everything was at home, including that medevac, this would look like a terrible idea from TLO.
Yeah, I actually think, especially with that Widowmine hit potentially going off on the Banelings before they hit the wall, that could have been a very easy hold. But TLO, he was hoping that Marine Lord would do something like this, I guess. And, I mean, this is the same opener Marine Lord went with last time. And TLO takes advantage of it entirely.
Yeah, actually following up with Burrow is really cool too, and of course he has that third base because, well, you have an excess of minerals, and you do have a backup if it goes well. I mean, and this definitely went well, especially because Marine Lord is only on 2 command centers. There's no third CC saying like, okay, what is 20 SCVs?
Look at that economy dip too. Like Marine Lord was winning that economy game so hardcore. TLO hits. Boosh.
Yeah, and of course keeping the command center off the low ground as well as long as possible is really nice. Now Liberator's coming in here. TLO already anticipated that. That's why he got the first Spore Crawler. I'm not sure if he saw the medevac. Maybe that's why, but he's getting more Spore Crawlers at the point. He knows that Liberators are out.
I really like that he's going for Burrow right now. If he actually gets this finished, it's not about sneaky Banelings necessarily. It's about blocking the command center and forcing a scan just to take his own expansion. Like every second that TLO is 3 bases while Marine Lord is 1, he's further and further ahead. Burrow's gonna finish up. There's the Burrow. Oh, forces that scan. That's gonna be costly.
You sent an Overlord to Creep and Ling block. It would have been a very obnoxious duo, but luckily Creep does recede faster, so it's not quite as bad.
Well, the Liberator are going to head across the map to join the first one. The first one did get about 5 drone kills by the looks of it, so nothing too bad just yet. TLO, I guess, forgot to put guys back on gas, or maybe intentionally took them off, but with a Spire on the way, I imagine he wants as much gas as possible.
Yeah, he also doesn't put the Spore Crawler back, which... Actually, like, keeping it unrooted might be the way to go.
Yeah, actually,
until you see the Liberator.
I see this happen a lot in our Archon mode games, but also from some of these pros where just having it dance around to the threat of it burrowing makes it impossible to siege up.
Yeah. So a lot of bad things are happening right now from Marine Lord. The lower SCV count, the lack of a third, but also his stim was delayed because, well, he was trying to get as many units as possible, and there's probably some forgetfulness in there too. Now, double drops are on the way, and drops are Terran's way back into a game. But TLO is already dealing with that with Mutalisk.
Yeah, despite having a couple of those had to pick off the medevacs to potentially deal with these Liberators, which again are proving to be quite annoying. He actually decides to zone out the ramp, which was an interesting choice. That's not going to cut it though. I mean, I applaud Marine. He's doing enough with these that he's keeping TLO completely home. Like there wasn't a second all in. There wasn't round 2 of Baneling bust, and you know TLO's been forced to stay at home. Now that's not so bad, but it does give Marine Lord that time to actually recover in the game. 1-1's not going to be finished for this fight. If it was, TLO would have a monstrously sick engagement, but he is going to have to rely on getting good Baneling hits. And he doesn't have that many Banelings even.
Now he knows the metas are out. I'm glad that he was careful with the medevacs and is going to do a frontal push. Now it's only going to have stim, no combat shield, so the massive amount of lings will actually not do so bad. Of course, you still would love for the Banelings to hit. That would be the most beautiful, but you might have to just depend on the. Yeah, there you go.
I didn't realize the Hellions were still alive from earlier either. That was actually gonna be really nice to have. But that's a lot of Banelings. I mean, 14 is actually, considering again it's legacy. That's a significant amount. We got the infestation pit. Now we start seeing TLO's plans behind on this kind of unraveled. He wasn't looking to win this game through another all-in and through a mid-game Baneling fight. He wanted to get to Hive Tech as quick as possible.
Oh Jesus!
Bane
start rolling midway on creep. Feels so bad.
Yeah, it feels bad, man. He does actually end up wasting a lot into the tank, surprisingly. However, the Mutas still take on the Marines. The medevacs are still going to fall. Lings clean up what's left on the ground, and TLO holds. And again, for TLO, infestation pit finishes, and Hive Tech is most likely on the way if he finds he can afford it.
I mean, TLO could end the game with Ultras. He could end the game just by making a lot of Banelings and attacking in here.
Yeah.
But it's up to him. Gets both medevacs.
Double
the Lings, once again, are going to be surprisingly effective without combat shields and with 1-1 on them. They get on top of that tank and on top of the supply depot as well.
GG.
And, well, he didn't even need any more Banelings.
TLO is going to tie it up 1-1 and take us to that ace match.